Thunder versus Nuggets. Thunder take Game 5 in the home court in the blue and white stripe out. Good game by Jokic. Not as many assists as normal, which kind of we talked about it earlier in the show that you guys did not hear. JP pointed out that kind of dictates, or that is a great, it is a sign of the team around him.
Aye.
You said that 3 times today. I've never heard you say it before.
You're just not with the program. I'll start scrolling back through text, and we'll find the first time I said "I" in text, and it was well before today.
Okay. Anyway, so Thunder go up 3-2. Game 6 will be back in Denver, and then Game 7 probably won't be played.
Wow.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Wow, bold take.
Yeah.
Calling a game before it is even tipped off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Pretty good analysis there.
Yeah, y'all now take it away and do the real stuff.
Jokic is
I'm
good.
gonna Twitter.
Was good is an understatement. He was phenomenal. Can't
Yeah.
say the same for the rest of the supporting cast. Michael Porter Jr. Did one of his disappearing acts we've become semi-accustomed to in these playoffs. Had 2 points. Didn't hit a 3. Russell Westbrook is airballing threes late. Aaron Gordon didn't hit the 20-point mark that has become so crucial for the Nuggets in these playoffs. I believe they're like 5-1 when he scores 20 points or something like that. So just not enough help. Jamal Murray played well until down the stretch, and then the lanes were congested and clogged, and he just didn't hit shots. So Jokic gave it everything he could, but just when crunch time hit, the Nuggets supporting cast didn't really look like they even wanted to be there, to be honest. They looked scared to have the ball.
What was the stat? 1 for 16?
1 for 16 in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
on field goals was the supporting cast, and the one make was a Jamal Murray garbage time lay, which a lot of that was the Thunder played great defensively down the stretch, didn't have any lapses, didn't give the Nuggets anything easy, and you could kind of tell they were like daring the Nuggets supporting cast to hit threes, and they didn't. They were like, Russell Westbrook, you want the 3 on the wing? Be my guest. Aaron Gordon will contest you a little bit, but that's a tough turnaround 3. Good luck hitting that. Christian Brown, we're going to give you a little pressure. Lights are really bright right now. We're going to bank on you not hitting it, and it worked to perfection. And then the OKC Thunder operated very well down the stretch. I'll let you get into that a little more, JP, because you remember kind of the play-by-play.
Sure.
But they took advantage of some Nuggets defensive lapses down the stretch, and just executed well.
Yeah.
And Shea was great down the stretch after a slow start.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, no, it felt like for the Nuggets that this was kind of finally like the game that kind of caught up to them with the amount of intense minutes that their stars have been playing. You could tell like Aaron Gordon was kind of tired throughout this game. Westbrook, even in his limited minutes, just didn't really have great energy. Only 1 offensive rebound and 4 points, which is kind of against what he's been doing all postseason. Jamal Murray shoots 10 for 27 and 3 for 13 from 3. Typically, when you're tired, you shoot worse because you don't use your legs as much, and that kind of showed with Jamal in this game. And yeah, Jokic just didn't have anything around him to help him. And like Sanders said, 5 assists is a big storyline for Denver because it shows that they weren't able to produce more scoring. And it's been a big thing that I've been saying. Charles Barkley is one of the media people that's big on this, is let Jokic score as many points as he wants, but if you take away his assists, you're in a better spot because he isn't responsible for 70 points, he's responsible for 50 points.
yeah.
And that's in a game that scores in the 110s, it's a big factor. For the Thunder, they were tremendous, especially in the fourth quarter. It felt a lot like it was basically the fourth quarter of Game 4. I want to give a ton of credit to Jalen Williams. He plays 10 minutes basically only in the second half, and he produces in some key spots. He only scores 2 points and only has 2 rebounds, but he stretches the floor, which allowed the Thunder to get to their spots and get shooters wide open. And the Thunder, I thought, played for the first 9 minutes of the fourth quarter, I thought they played atrocious. I thought it was just awful. And they were outscoring the Nuggets, which was what was crazy. They came back from down 8.
It was a disaster class all around.
In the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, the Thunder attempted 8 shots. One of them was from SGA. The rest were from Jalen Williams, Lou Dort. Isaiah Hartenstein, and Alex Caruso. Lou Dort is 1 for 4 from 3 coming into the fourth quarter, and he, for whatever reason, he decides to shoot 4 threes, and to the Thunder's luck, he makes 3 of them. That, in my opinion, all 4 of them were just awful shots. They weren't rhythm. He was shooting them like he was like the number one option, and it was crazy to me. It made no sense to me, but for the Thunder's luck, they went in. And then I felt finally, like, once we got to like 3 minutes, they calmed down, and this was something I said about the Celtics and Knicks. The coaching showed up, and Dagnall helped the Thunder tremendously in those final 3 minutes. If you watch the final 3 minutes, they call 3 plays in a row. The first one is the Nuggets have been running this like 2-3 zone for basically the entire fourth quarter, and basically they asked Shea to get past the 2 guards and split to the middle of the defense and force Jokic to step up and play help, and then it's a little lob over the top to Hartenstein, free bucket, dunk. They take the lead back. And then Jokic hits the ridiculous 3, and then the next play, they come down the floor. They get to they ask Shea to attack the right side of the floor. Ball reversal to Lou Dort on a skip pass, and then Lou Dort swings it to the corner, and Isaiah Hartenstein has set basically a flare screen on Jokic. Jalen Williams wide open 3. Bang. Next time, they allow Shea to get to a spot. Shea hits the step back 3, massive 3, with about 45 seconds left at that point. And it was, in my opinion, it was great coaching, because this is something that, like, in the NBA, it's star-driven. I get it. The coaches don't really matter a ton in a lot of spots, but these are the moments that they do matter. And Dagnall showed up. He put the Thunder in the right spots. He got them basically 3-4 baskets in a row, which allowed them to close out the game, and I have to give them a ton of credit, and the Thunder, again, for executing as well.
Sure.
Yeah, Shea, again, another tremendous game. Jack kind of called it a little bit too early, saying he was getting bullied.
I didn't say he was going to have a bad game. He just was getting bullied early on. He was soft with the basketball.
Yeah, you were correct. He was playing poorly to start, but I said give him time, let him cook, and he did cook. Was tremendous again in the fourth quarter, hitting big shots, and the Thunder are able to take Game 5. It's tremendously important, which is what confused me with the way they played the first 9 minutes of the fourth quarter. They were playing terrible, and they were treating it like a regular season game, when in fact this is like the series. The team that wins Game 5 and goes up 3-2 wins the series 81.4% of the time. So, like, this is the series without it being an elimination game for either team, and the Thunder were almost treating it terribly, and then the coaching really helped them in the final 3 minutes to come through and take Game 5. They now go back to Denver, where they previously won Game 4. Tomorrow night, it'll be very, very interesting to see that game. And I said this earlier, which is now in the void, but it feels like with this Thunder team, I'm almost like on a 50-50 of Game 6 typically would be a must-win for a team like this that's young, that doesn't have the experience. They're facing the team that's won a championship before, and they have that championship pedigree. And it feels like Game 7 would favor Denver. But I don't know. This is why I picked the Thunder to win the NBA championship, because I feel like this is a different Thunder team, especially different than the team that there was last year. They have Hartenstein and Alex Caruso to give them some veteran presence. SGA is a year older. This is the second time they've been the 1 seed. And so it almost feels like, yeah, Game 6 would be nice to win, especially if you could be able to get the same amount of rest as Minnesota will get if they were to win tonight, whenever you're watching this, if you're watching this on Wednesday. But I don't know. I feel differently about this Thunder team, which is why I picked them to win the championship. And I don't think Game 6 is a must-win, although I think people in the media are going to say that. I trust the Thunder still in Game 7.
They've kind of shown you enough this playoffs so far. They've given you reason to trust them. Also feel like this was Denver's kind of last gasp. I do also say that with kind of hesitation, because we've kind of counted this Nuggets team out before in this playoffs, kind of coming in and then at points in the Clippers series, and they've kind of prevailed with experience and maturity and Jokic. But it really did kind of feel like they gave all that they had left in the tank, and it just wasn't enough.
Jokic did.
Yeah, and they're going to be scrambling to, back in Game 6 to try and recover, and I don't think they're going to recover personally. So I'm calling it in 6, I guess, right there. But yeah.
I kind of feel that way as well. Like I said, it feels like this was the game that the Nuggets finally got caught up in the playing every other day after playing a 7-game series and really playing these guys intense minutes. So, yeah, they might be able to seal Game 6 with home, but I just don't know. I don't trust them in Game 7 to be able to steal it as well. I think the war of attrition is finally catching up to them.
There's always Jokic, though, man.
That guy's incredible.
He is.